Air Marshal Terence Sherry, Minister SB Moyo. Where is Walter Muzembe? Don't forget my blessing Ali. This government, mama, is corrupt and bloodthirsty. No to clueless government, sex for Mr. Appointments. No to gold mafia. Even you, Prophet Angel, you a criminal.
Greetings, 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 and more greetings to you good people. My name is DJ Oli, and welcome to your favorite platform on YouTube, Zwamanja Manja. If it's your first time here, Janya, subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any exciting content uploaded. Asikana wanga wagara, uri mugari wepano, nodango kutenda negdasa ine kumza kubadara, and thank you very much for supporting Point 5 Creative Studios. Right, va Joshua Maponga, va Zongo, Buda pachena vakataura kuti akapiwa mari uyu Rutendo Matinyarare 14 million akadya haana kubhadhara maloya. Akapiwa mari uyu ari kunyepa futi kuti akabvisa masanctions haana masanctions aakabvisa. Mari akatopiwa natungwarara imari yekublackmaila aisatombofanirwa kupiwa mari iyoyo. Ndikati izvi zvaakunakidza zvaakutapira. Ndakambokuudzai kuti kuzano PF uku kune mvonga mupopoto. Tisingatambise nguva toda kuti tipinde muclipping rava Joshua Maponga tinzwe kuti vari kuti chii.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Maponga J, right here in Zimbabwe. I come tonight to clarify the stories that have been making rounds on the social media space. Hopewell Chingono, Benson Matinyarare, Hulu Bila, and Rudo Zoko. Come close. Let's clear this thing once and for all. I had a phone call with Benson and Hopewell after our squabble and the misdirected, misinformative videos that Rutendo had sent on the social media space. And I needed to clarify. And when Hopewell saw our battle, we had a conference call together to clarify those issues. Hopewell Chimono advised me that we needed to bury our hatchets so that we can be able to develop the Zimbabwe story in a more positive light. It was a three-way call between myself, Hopewell, and Benson. It was out of that phone call that I later on made a follow-up call to Rutendo to advise him the way I thought best he would be able to handle himself and go forward. That is the video that went out on the social media space. But very critical information was missing on that video, which I thought maybe let me keep quiet. The young man is the reason why he's becoming selective. It is not true that Benson was not paid for the services that he had claimed to give to the country. He was paid 14.2 million and he did not pay the lawyers. The lawyers had to come for another invoice altogether. It is not true that Benson was introduced to Kudakwasha Tagurei through ED Junior. That's not true. I took him to meet up with Kudakwasha Tagurei. It is not true that Benson removed sanctions. No. The nation of Zimbabwe, embassies, public sector, and international relations offices, including civilians who have been sleeping at the US Embassy for months. When Tungwarara comes up to pay for Benson, it's blackmail. Unfortunately, it was not an intelligent and well-informed decision that you can pay the very man who was destroying the party and you reward him with blackmail. Unfortunately, that's how Benson works. He records everything that you speak. He records everything that you say, and he selects what he wants to publish and what he does not want to publish. other information I'll be able to release a bit later on about his misunderstandings and some of the misgivings that we had and we have had along the short space of time that I've come to know him, including our presidential encounter, including the hotel and other events that have enshrouded this conversation. But I can state it on record. Benson is a psychiatric patient, is a liar, is a criminal, and is a conman. There's no way you can be paid that kind of money, 14.2 million, and you go on to lambast and lie about the men that even knew that you were lying when you were asking for that money. And he even told me personally that we could give him 500,000 to pay for some of his debts so that he can focus on this issue. You forget some of those stories. Selective amnesia. And you want to run a political campaign on likes on Facebook. Shame on you, Benson. I'm ashamed. I'm actually feeling bad that I never saw that part of you. And I've come to embarrass people that trusted me with your name. Go your way. Do what you must do. But don't lie to the country. You never removed sanctions. You've never been patriotic about the country. Our coming to Zimbabwe, me and you, was to make Zimbabwe great again, rebuild the brand, and assist on the conversation around sanctions. We had a business plan and a strategy on how to do that. You picked the bag of money and you ran away through the door. And you come back after you squander that money. I don't know how you've spent it. And you want to claim that you're a victim.
Right, Muri eZimbabwe. Parokupisa zvekudaro. Parokutopisa zvekuti asi zvekudaro. Ezvinenge zvitakuda kuti tinzwe. Iye Rutendo achitaura kuti manyepero ari kuita mukoma wangu haasiriwo. Aiwa pakaipa zvekutodaro.
You know, it really hurts me to wake up in the morning like this to make a video to rebut my once good friend and elder brother Joshua Maponga. And all this is happening because we met a billionaire who said, I love your guys' talent. Come and work with my organization and you'll be millionaires within a year. Didn't happen. We're actually sitting here rebutting each other and fighting each other because the billionaire will not pay a simple invoice because my organization removed sanctions on Zimbabwe after he commissioned us to do it. And many people have asked me, why do you record conversations with people? Why do you record phone calls? It's because people are dishonest, especially people in Zimbabwe. Listen to this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Maponga J, right here in Zimbabwe. I come tonight to clarify the stories that have been making rounds on the social media space. I had a phone call with Benson and Hopewell after our squabble and the misdirected, misinformative videos that Rutendo had sent on the social media space. And I needed to clarify. And when Hopewell saw our battle, we had a conference call together to clarify those issues. Hopewell Chimono advised me that we needed to bury our hatchets so that we can be able to develop the Zimbabwe story in a more positive light. It was a three-way call between myself, Hopewell, and Benson. It was out of that phone call that I later on made a follow-up call to Rutendo to advise him the way I thought best he would be able to handle himself and go forward. That is the video that went out on the social media space. But very critical information was missing on that video, which I thought maybe let me keep quiet. the young man as a reason why he's becoming selective. It is not true that Benson was not paid for the services that he had claimed to give to the country. He was paid 14.2 million, and he did not pay the lawyers. The lawyers had to come for another invoice altogether.
So, you've heard that figure that Joshua Maponga is giving you, 14 million rand. I don't know if he forgot that he had actually spoken about the very same figure just 2 months ago. And this is the figure that he gave then. Listen to this.
And Rutendo has posted, that invoice of a deposit, which is written the Farmers of Thought onto the FNB. And people are asking us to engage you on that. Please go ahead.
Rutendo is being very notorious, and I know why he's doing that. When we called him when we facilitated, now we can share some notes. When we facilitated his coming here, which he knows very well, the payments delayed. I used some of my own cash for his upkeep and keeping him here, because I had not submitted an invoice for the entire work that we're going to be doing, only to be repaid when the invoice had come through, because it was all inclusive. So if you want to throw the invoice, that's incorrect, Rutendo. Can you bring the entire invoice and people can know, so that you don't only blackmail me? Show us the deposit slip from the principal, and then show that, and I can justify your hotels at Mikkel's Hotel, 5-star, a rented car, fully with a sunroof, a house in Borodale, and the list can go on to justify that invoice. Because I had not billed directly. The bill was inclusive to what we're going to be doing together. So if you want to throw the curtains and the napkins out, I'm all out. Can we have the next invoice, please, of how much was paid? And make them two, please. The initial payment, which was 7.5, and the next in payment, which was 1.3 or 1.4 million. Then put the two together, and then let's have a nice conversation.
You hear that in Joshua Maponga's own words. He's saying that we were paid 7.5 million rand plus 1.3 million rand. That's 8.8 million rand altogether. Money given to my organization, Zimbabwe Anti-Sanctions Movement, in order to go to court against Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Secretary of State, Secretary of Treasury, and the banks of America, United Kingdom, Europe, and South Africa that were implementing illegal sanctions that had been called illegal by the United Nations Human Rights Council, that my organization also got into Zimbabwe. So why has the number changed all of a sudden, just from 2 months ago when he said to 8.8 million to now 14 million? It's for the same reason why he was on these spaces explaining himself. Joshua Maponga had gone onto the internet and said that I was lying, that I had done work with his boss, the billionaire Kuda Tagwire, and I had been fighting sanctions with Kuda Tagwire. He said that I had no proof of deposits, I had no proof of invoices, I had no proof of a contract, so I was lying. I then said, but Joshua, we gave you 100,000 rand as a commission for our first payment that was supposed to go to the lawyers that already started the work. He said I was lying, so I produced a POP on these spaces. That's what he's calling an invoice, and he was shocked. Then he started lying that no, I was paying for your accommodation. His boss paid for everything. Joshua didn't have to pay for anything. So Joshua has been lying, and he's lying again now. But besides speaking to Joshua, I also spoke to his boss about the very same numbers when he needed to make a payment 2 years later of not making any payments with our lawyers working for nothing. Listen to this.
I didn't mama just mudobhadhira one wiki yekutanga then muchazocomplete imwe yacho ibva yapera before the end of the year. Saka ndozvawakabatirira wakomana.
So if I do 1 million this week, it won't cause problems, or it will cause you problems?
Handizive mukoma because
holiday and in system
dzinomboswitcha off ukatozive maaccountant.
I make arrangements. So I think I can do another maybe 1 million or 1.8 million today or tomorrow.
Okay, kana muchikwanisa kuita 2 mukoma ndotaura nawo.
Tomorrow morning, by tomorrow afternoon, you'll have 1.8 million. Then I'll see what I'll do after that.
Okay.
But I definitely by by mid-January to end of January, and then I paid just 7. What's the amount? 7 million? 7 million. 7. 8 million.
Yanga 8 million. Problem ari kuti hanzi iwewe hanzi inini ndakavapromisa zvandiri kutaura. Saka why is it hauchaita zvawakapromisa? Ndikati aiwa guys, munhu wangu wandiri kudhila naye ane ma-challenges ekufambisa mari. Saka anonzwisisa muridzi wecompany. Problem yaakuitika is the lawyers vasina kupa manhingirikeni mabonuses avo after they did the work.
Okay, let me see what I can do. But I definitely will do 100,000 equivalent tomorrow. Let's see what I can do.
For context, how I met the billionaire Kudata Gure was that Junior Mnangagwa had seen how we had brought the UN Human Rights Council into Zimbabwe to determine if there were sanctions, because many people didn't believe there were sanctions in Zimbabwe. The UN Human Rights Council came, determined that there were sanctions in Zimbabwe, declared them illegal, and also said that they were violating human rights. And as such, with that report, Junior Mnangagwa said, congratulations for the good work. What do we do next? And I said, we would need to go to court. And he said, yes, absolutely, that's a good idea. Why don't we go to the International Criminal Court? And I told him we were not signatories, but we could look at the International Court of Justice and we could also look at local courts. He said, go to court, we'll find you the money. That's how he introduced me to Kudata Gure, or at least Kudata Gure then got in touch with me through Joshua Maponga. And Kudata Gure works with the president's son. From there, we went to see the president, and then we're given a green light to start our legal case in South Africa. When we met Kudata Gure, he asked us, how much was this case? And we said about $6 million US. So he said, I will give you money to pay you for the work that you've done now, and then I'll give you the remainder in future. So he gave us 1.5 million rand. The lawyer, Simba Chitando, took that money, and then the rest was given to Joshua Maponga. Once that was done, the lawyers never got another payment for 2 years. That conversation I was having with him was from 2 years ago. I'm not going to go into too much detail about everything else, because when we look at the fight against sanctions, I began a campaign against sanctions. People started marching against sanctions. The United Nations came to Zimbabwe, and the US Congress came to Zimbabwe after speaking to me. Sanctions were removed. You can make up your mind as to whether that was me who did that, but work was done. And I just wanted to prove that Joshua Maponga is lying. I'm not going to go into all the other allegations that he made. I will let you, as the people of Zimbabwe, make up your mind. He also threatened my family for me not supporting the constitutional amendment bill.
Muri yeZimbabwe ndimi munoona, ndimi munonzwa. Nditaurirei kuti ari kutaura chokwadi pakati pevaviri ava ndiani? Isa comment mucomment section. Wotaura mafungiro ako, wotaura maonero ako kuti unozviona sei. So me DJ Oli and the rest of the crew behind the scenes. It is bye for now. Let's meet in the next video.